In the previous video we created this room and area schedule, and by the way, let's just go ahead and call this the room and area schedule. And of course we put the room in, we put the level, the floor we wanted it on, the number of the room, the areas. But the other thing we want is the department that these are in. And we remember, if you remember, when we put the rooms in, we added the parameter department and made core and lease space departments. So I'm going to go back in now and add the department here. So we're going to add department, and then we'll move it up right after level. Whoops. And that looks good. And now you'll see that the departments have been added in, and we just had two, core and lease. So the next thing we're going to do is go in and make a plan, a specific plan that shows these color coded on the plan. And to do that, I created a floor plan specifically for this called the first floor department plan, and I'm going to open that up, and you'll see it looks just like the other plans, only I've turned off all the section cuts and all the symbols, so it'll be pretty simple. I left the room names on, and we may want to come back and change that later, especially since this will probably be a pretty small plan, probably something around 1 to 20. See, and they're going to be really large if we do that. So let's go ahead and we'll hide these by category. Go ahead and get them out. So let's now put this into a departmental, and to do that we're going to go in here and create a color scheme. You'll see right here there's this department, well, you'll see a whole list of different types of categories that we could do schemes by, and one happens to be rooms, and we're going to do rooms, and we can do it by names, and you'll see that all the different names have different, or we could do it by departments right here. And so we're going to do it by departments, and let's just go in and let's say that I wanted this one to be blue, and I'm going to lighten that up because that's going to be pretty bright up there, so I'm going to make the intensity of that 200, and then I'm going to come down here and make this CN and do the same thing, lighten it up, and then I'm going to apply that and say OK. But you'll notice nothing changed in my plan, and the reason is over here you'll see that there's a color scheme, but the color scheme is not set. And so I'm going to click on none here and go back to not spaces but rooms, and you'll see here's my department scheme, and I'm going to apply that and say OK. And now you'll see that departments or spaces are the CN color and blue, and then you'll notice that there's a white behind here. Let's zoom in. You can see that the figure ground here, okay, and you'll see a white here, and on the text we actually don't need that dimension. Go in and let's just delete that out of there. Okay, what we want to do is make it so that this is blue too, the objects themselves are over. And to do that, we're going to come in, and instead of making the color scheme in the background, we're going to bring the color scheme to the foreground. And when we apply that, you'll notice now it overlays everything else, and so it's on top of everything because it's now the foreground. And so this is now ready to put into a view, and so we're going to go and open my sheet. So let's just go open a sheet here. We're just going to go back and drag that over into it. Floor plans, department plan right there. And as you can see, it's fairly small, and of course the area has been set fairly. So let's edit a little bit. We're going to activate the view, show crop area, and we're going to make that crop area smaller. And let's deactivate view now, and we want to move it over here. And of course we could go in and do this for each floor so that we could see the different areas in each floor. And then of course we want to reschedule this a little bit and move it. Okay, so that's how you make an area plan, a color coded area plan. Now of course I don't know how to read this because I have no legend to tell me what the blue means or what the two different colors of blue means. So what we're going to do is go in and go back to this view, so WT here, and go back to the department plan. And what I'm going to do is, we don't need the boundary, is come into annotate and create a legend. So I'm going to do a color fill legend, and you'll see it'll automatically knows that I've got a scheme set, and so you'll see it's department legend, the core, and the lease. If I click on it, you'll notice that's controlled by a family type, and so we can come in here and make changes to it, and all of it's pretty logical. You know, the size, the swatch here, if we wanted to make the swatch a little bigger. And the thing to remember is this is sheet dimensions, and so it will scale to 1 inch no matter what you change the scale. So I'll apply that and say OK, and now you'll notice the swatches are a lot larger. If I wanted to rename this, I would have to go back into my scheme. So if I go back here to edit scheme, and you'll see here department legend, let's say I just wanted to say departments, and now I've got my legend on the departments. And so if I go back to my sheet, you can see now it doesn't fit on the sheet, so I'm going to move it over. So I could add the other floor plans here, and then I'd have all my departments taken care of. So that's how you make an area plan.